So watch out for yes sets, no sets, compliance sets, and I'm going to show you our first induction. Now it's going to be interesting managing this, and the noise level is going to be high. But I'm just telling you up front, it doesn't matter. When we teach people in Toronto, sometimes the noise is really high, but by the end of the week, people can hypnotize people on a crowded subway. They're not concerned about the noise anymore. We're going to throw you in the deep end. So we're not going to be all quiet and kinesthetic. No, we're just going to go for it. And so I want to show you a very cool induction. This one is taught to me by my mentor, Derek Balmer. Let me first of all tell you when I would use this induction. If I work with clients now, I almost never do anymore, but if I do, maybe on Skype, I'll get a sample of their handwriting beforehand because I've been a forensic graphologist for 25 years, and with forensic hypnosis, I've worked on 3 murder cases and all these weird stories. But the graphology has proven itself to be 100% true. It's just incredible. If your subject has a lot of wedges in their M's or N's, like this, see these downward pointed sharp wedges here, right down to the bottom? That's analytical ability. Think of it as a funnel. Information comes in and is sorted and sifted. Analysis is the ability to discard, not to keep gathering more. You've got to sort and discard. If you have a lot of these in your writing, it could be in letter H. There's the big analytical wedge. If you've got that, then you're going to overanalyze the technique. I know right away. And these are the people who give us these statistics like, only 20% of people can go into deep trance the first time. That's nonsensical. Only if you use the same method for everybody. But if the person is hyper-analytical and you're doing a progressive muscle relaxation, they'll be analyzing you all the time. And your eyelids are beginning to relax. You go, no, they're not. Yeah, and your face is getting very heavy and full. Not true, not working, not working. And that's what we've all done it, if we've been in that position. I'm going to show you a way. This first method is our first power induction, and this works on the principle of leverage if you're British or Canadian, and leverage if you're American, both of which I will accept today. Would anybody like to be a subject? You can come on up here. Would you prefer the hypnosis chair or the trance chair?
Hypnosis chair.
That's that one. Chris is going to get this just so they can hear a little bit better. What's your name, Las Vegas?
Elizabeth.
Excellent. Have you been gambling?
No.
So no lost wages?
Nope.
Okay. What we're going to do is I'm just going to, there we are. Now, at some point I'm going to touch this hand. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Elizabeth, what I'd like you to do is think of something in your life, and this is going to be in the privacy of your own mind. You're not going to talk about this at all. Think of something you'd like to improve. And I'd like you to close your eyes, go inside, and ask your unconscious mind if it will permit you to add new resources to this situation that will greatly empower you. Tell me what answer you get.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, you can open your eyes. Cool induction. May I borrow that hand for a minute? Thank you. Eyes closed now. That's right. And as you notice the shifting, changing focus in your already cataleptic hand, the feelings in that hand become very, very interesting, whether you're feeling a tingling sensation. But the fact that it just floats there is so comfortable. And it feels so much different from your other hand. And as your brain does an internal search, that's right, the flickering of your eyes means it's working even faster. You can go deeper into trance, just like that. And your hand will touch down only when that new resource is fully installed and running perfectly. Now, I switched back to my day-to-day voice so she won't pay any attention. And what we've done is just set up a process. He said, I don't have to know anything that's going on. Her unconscious mind is doing a search through all her internal systems. Remember, we're making new neural pathways at the rate of about 1 million per second, or neural connections. And so she's now found something. And here's my external guide. I watch the cataleptic limb, and it tells me how far along we are. So this is an external indicator of where she's at. Now I can use that cataleptic limb to have her go deeper as it sinks. I can have it stick to her face if you're into that weird stuff. Or we can use it like this, once the resource is found, to completely install it. That's right. It's almost too easy. I feel bad charging people for this stuff because it's... Thanks. All the way. And when it's up and running perfectly, then you can come back to now and notice how good you feel. That's right. Excellent. Hi.
Hi.
Nice postural reorientation. Always watch for the postural shift afterward, whether it's stretch or yawning or whatever. That's a great indicator the person was somewhere else. Now, if I can just debrief you, what was the experience like from your end?
Very interesting because I decided to go content-free.
Nice.
I have no idea what my unconscious was working on.
Yeah. May it continue to surprise you. Excellent. Give this lady a hand as we send her back. So, now, make no mistake, this is ridiculously simple, but it's one of the simplest inductions you can do. Now, I've just used this to install some sort of internal programming. Realize one of the number one mistakes I see over and over, we put so many hypnosis trainers through our class in Toronto because they were getting more in the basic course than they had been in their trainer's track. So what we specialize in is fixing poor technique. I was asked to do a demo for the Guild years ago, and I said, sure. And they said, what will you teach? I said, whatever you want. They said, will you teach inductions? I said, sure. They said, which ones do you want to teach? I said, whatever you want me to teach. They said, what's your favorite one? I said, I don't have a favorite one. They said, well, which one do you do best? I said, I don't do any of them best. I do them all correctly. So this one, kinesthetic ambiguity, rapid induction. Christopher, can I borrow you for a second, buddy? Of course. Excellent. Do you notice you never tell the person their hand is going to float in the air? It just happens. Now, you get catalepsy. Wonderful phenomenon known with hypnosis forever. Here's the basic thing. I've got rapport with her. I'm asking a couple of questions, and I'll say, may I borrow that hand? And I'll point with either hand to the hand. Okay? That immediately causes a sense of dissociation. So do it yourself. Put one hand in front of you. Say, this is my hand.
This is my hand.
My hand.
My hand.
This is my hand.
My hand.
Now, turn it away from you and point out with your other hand and say, that hand there.
That hand.
That hand.
That hand.
See how different it feels? It doesn't feel like it's yours when you say that hand. So when I say, can I borrow that hand, I'm starting the dissociation, which is concomitant with hypnosis all the time. So I point at that hand. As it comes up, I don't shake hands with him. I lightly take his elbow. I don't want to jam it against his body, although I said yesterday it's tremendously tempting to trap the foot and take him down with his arm.
Of course it is, Mike.
Okay, just perfect. So open to attack. It's amazing. So we're here. I've got this at a nice angle. I have this
Outstanding.
out from the body a bit. And all I do is I get about a 90, 45-degree angle here. I establish eye contact with him. And with intention, I say, eyes closed now. I don't do some offhand, close your eyes. No. I want his unconscious to know something's happening. So it's eyes closed now. When he closes his eyes,
Away, too.
palm
Away. Less intimidating to have someone's palm in your face.
Oh, well,
than
yeah,
this.
this. You mean, yes, that's right. You don't look like you're going to smack him in the head. So I got this here now. Eyes closed now. Look what I do. I just give it a couple of little, that's it. And it stays there. You don't say your hand will stay there. If you're nervous about this, if you've been talking people into trance with 20 minutes of induction, you'll spend too long on this. And you start doing it, because you'll be afraid to let go in case it drops. But the key is it's literally like this. May I borrow that hand, Chris? Thank you. Eyes closed now. And as you notice the sensations in that hand. Okay. So
Remember we did
now
that in Toronto?
you can say, and you can go deeper. Now, a great way to deepen trance by using this is with their eyes are closed, their hand is cataleptic, and you say your hand will sink down as though it's tied with a string to your forehead, and your hand sinks just as your head tips forward and you go deeper and deeper. Now you're establishing head tilt, which is also concomitant with external trance indicators in our list. Head tilt is a huge part of it. That's when the person often will give a hypnotic sigh as they fall off the wall and go right into trance at that moment. In fact, head tilt can be as profound as one of our students, Stephen Marchand, who we actually called
Liquid Boy.
Liquid Boy, because he turns into a Terminator T-1000 and liquefies and flows out of his chair. I mean, it's scary stuff. And we probably got it on video somewhere. That's a profound head tilt. My friend Fred Stojanovic was with York Regional Police. He took my course for doing it forensically. And Fred was a control freak. Poor guy's passed away a few years back. Control freak. This was Fred before he goes into hypnosis. I want you to see the power of the head tilt. This is Fred. And this is Fred in a deep trance with a head tilt. Did you calibrate that? 1/1000th of an inch. So you've got to watch for it. Now, the wonderful thing is, with all this stuff, If we build in head tilt by having the person's hands sink, that will work. We always have eye closure at some point, at least almost always. So how did old school hypnosis coming out of Bernheim and Charcot and Marquis de Puysegur, how did they come up with the idea of getting the eye closure? They would suggest it. Your eyelids are getting heavy. You're starting to feel tired. Your eyes are closing. Braid was huge on this. It works. But the problem is, again, you are suggesting to someone whose critical faculty is still present. You're trying to get past it with suggestion. And so they can question everything you're saying. So here's the best way to get eye closure without that. This works real well. It's the way we teach it in Toronto. You say to the person, close your eyes. No further questions, Your Honor. The defense rests. You get exactly the same effect. So get them to close their eyes and go into this particular thing. Now, the danger is taking too long with it, but what you're doing by setting up catalepsy, which is a waxy immobility of the muscles. So we have the agonist and the antagonist muscles in perfect balance, and it just sort of hovers there. Sometimes it'll go completely limp, like leg catalepsy when you can't stand. When in the Elman induction, which is brilliant, we pre-frame it. Imagine you close your eyes and you can't open, you're trying, and the person's trying to open their eyes. They've created eyelid catalepsy, so they've got a trance happening already. And it builds on it with heteroaction, Weitzenhofer, 1959, General Techniques of Hypnotism. So we got a good foundation that if we can get a cataleptic limb, we can get hypnosis. So here's your task. You're going to do this. You're going to say to the person, may I borrow that hand? And you'll point at it, and they will say, yes. And you take your hand, put their hand in position. Remember, don't jam their elbow against their side. Just comfortably like this. As you're holding it, pass the back of your hand in front of their eyes, look them in the eye, and say with intention, eyes closed now. You want to be real Milton with that one. When you get all gravelly if you want, and put on the purple clothes, so it's eyes closed now. The person will close their eyes, immediately do a bit of kinesthetic ambiguity. Remember, ambiguity is you cannot figure out the meaning. Visual ambiguity is like an optical illusion. Auditory ambiguity is something that can sound different ways, like what this country needs is a new direction. That's auditory ambiguity. Thank you, Bill Clinton. So, physical ambiguity, kinesthetic ambiguity in the physical sense, the feeling sense. We can't tell. Is the person still there? Oh, no, he's gone. Oh, no, he's out. Oh, I don't care. I'm just letting my hand float in the air. So you don't have to pre-frame it. It'll just happen. This is so surefire that anytime I'm stuck and have to do hypnosis immediately without warning, it's almost always this one, because I just know it's going to work. I don't think I've ever had it not work. Even once on City TV in Toronto, they brought me in to do a talk on hypnosis, and they said, who are you going to hypnotize? I said, no one. I said, I'm coming in to promote this event we're doing. Hypnosis on television always looks fake, and there's going to be some lunatic at home saying it worked on him, and he went and put his hand on the stove, and now he's suing me for everything I've got. And they said, oh, okay, we'll just discuss hypnosis. I said, right. So I came in the following day. We're at the studio, which is right on Queen Street, big glass right onto the street, and I'm in the area waiting like this, and they, okay, put the mic on me, and they said, okay, you're on in 2 minutes. I come in. They said, who are you hypnotizing? I went, nobody. Oh, we just said on the bumper that you're going to hypnotize someone when we come back. Oh, thanks. Okay. Grab that security guard over there. Brought the security guard over. Said, can you sit here? And what's your name? What do you enjoy doing? I ride a motorcycle. What kind? Oh, Harley. Oh, you got a hog. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I borrow that hand. Eyes closed now. Put him on his motorcycle. Tremendous success. This will work for you. So, deepen the trance always. The deepening can be whatever you want. You can use my pre-frame deepener if you like. Some of my favorites. You say to the person, your unconscious mind knows that there's a level far lower and deeper than the one you are at now. The unconscious immediately checks and goes, yeah, he's right. And I'd like your unconscious to take you there now. And you can do the elevator, and the person will sink, and you say, that's right. But you let them do it. That's the key. Okay, or do the deepener of your choice. Question, Ken.
The old school idea of convincers, does it help to ask them to open your eyes and look at your arm even just for a moment?
That's a good point. You can use it as a convincer. They can open their eyes and look at their arm. But we're going to teach you the clench induction later. So save that for later. And that's a great one to do on kids, and a great one that freaks people out who've been hyper-analytical. We had one student who's a medical doctor and an anesthesiologist in San Francisco, a Russian. He came to the class and he used this induction we're going to show you today to deal with something in his life. And his hand was so locked, it was 30 minutes before he could open it. He just sat in a chair with tears just streaming down his face for 30 minutes. We just left him in his unconscious mind to do it. That was it. So we'll give you some cool stuff. So everybody's got it. You're just going to do this. We'll go through it again. Chris, may I borrow that hand? Okay, or I can point with this hand. Doesn't matter. Thanks. I place it here like this. I say, eyes closed now. And I immediately do the kinesthetic ambiguity. That's it. And now you draw their attention to the hand. And you can notice the changing feelings in that hand. Maybe a tingling, some other sensation. Notice how it feels different than the other hand. It has to. It's a different hand. Okay? There's a huge duh factor with this one. So we're going to give everybody, 5 minutes to do it both ways? Just to
Yeah, I think
have
so.
it sink down.
5 minutes total would be great.
You're not going to do any therapy. You're just going to have it
Practice
sink
the
down,
technique.
sink down. As they go deeper, when it touches their leg, they'll awaken and feel awesome. Okay? Go!